and welcome again to my workshop. Today, as promised, we're going to set up the new 6012 CNC router hybrid, and I've had some comments about that hybrid. Yes, it is a hybrid. It's a machine that's been developed out of several different types of machines. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the 12 onto Mach3 on a laptop, and I'll show you how to configure the laptop so it doesn't go to sleep on you, or it doesn't inhibit the progression of the machine in any way. Some laptops can. And I'll show you how to set the program up to this particular machine, having servo motor drives. Before we move on to configuring Mach3 to this machine, there's a couple of items I want to show you. Right, so the first item I want to show you is a very new type of radio handheld pendant to operate with Mach3. This one's quite special. It actually has a rubber boot as well for protection, so if you do happen to drop it, you've got some chance of it surviving the drop. It's actually got a magnetic mount as well, and this one I actually use myself. The company that designs this has done a really good job in making this foolproof. It doesn't get, shall we say, affected by other radio signals around it, and it's very manageable, and I'd like to say it's an entirely different unit than what I was using on my first CNC router, where that one was a bit jumpy and I didn't altogether like it. This one is a totally different animal, I can tell you. I really love it. If you don't like radio, and I know that some of you guys out there really dislike using radio equipment with CNCs, that's okay, because we have a corded MPG as well. So the first job that we're going to do after downloading Mach3 is to set up the laptop that it's running on so it does not inhibit Mach3 program when it's running, and that means altering the automatic settings within the laptop so it doesn't shut it down or even put a screensaver up. And that's done by going into the icon down the bottom corner here, the start icon, then going onto control panel, clicking on appearance and personalization and display, and adjust brightness. Now then, you need to ensure that high performance is clicked here, and the other two, power saving and balance, are unchecked. So, but what I do as well, I go into them and I change these settings, as you can see here. Oh, and incidentally, do not run a laptop with Mach3 without it being connected directly to the mains power. You must have mains power connected at all times to your laptop. Never run a CNC machine on battery power with the laptop. So what I do in relation to all these is bring up never. In other words, never go to sleep never do anything, always work flat out. So that one's okay. This one, quite important, again, never, 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 and in this case where it says whether it's in battery condition or not, put the computer to sleep, I always put never. Always check this one, never. You have an option here of doing from a minute all the way up to 5 hours. Always select never. And come out of that one. And this one. Now this one is I've left unchecked purposely so you can see it being altered. Always make sure that it's full brightness. You know, you don't want any plan whatsoever. So you press never, 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 and never, and save the settings. Even though it's unchecked, do it anyway. And I always make sure that I go full brightness on the screen as well. Just as I just do. So really that's all you need to do to set a laptop up to run a CNC machine. And come out of that now. And then you can open up your Mach3 program. And off you go. So open Mach3 mill, and there you have the message here that Mach3 recognizes the motion control card and they are working now absolutely fine together. So that's every time you start Mach3, this reset will be flashing red, and this emergency stop prompt will be scrolling across the box there. So if you press it just once, Mach3 will give you an alert sound that now Mach3 is active with your machine. So the first thing you're going to want to do is change your native units. Now it will come up and say not to change it in this window, but for the first time you start the program, it's okay to do this because you haven't set Mach3 up to your particular machine yet. That's what it's warning you of. If you change this when you've already set Mach3 up, you're going to have to go through all the motor tuning and everything again. So initially when you start Mach3 program, this is the first thing you do, and change it now. Mine's already set up. So when you start the program up first, the Mach3 screen will look something like this, with the reset button flashing. We won't worry about that too much at the moment. What we need to do now is set up the motor tuning. I won't alter any of the figures on here because my machine is, I've already set it up. But what you do, you go into config, which is up here, and you choose motor tuning. You're going to see some odd figures on here for the steps per, because this is set up for servo motors. Okay, so these in particular, these need to be set at 160. This is for servo motors, not stepper motors. 4000.2, 300. That figure will automatically come in. You don't need to worry about that. Mach3 will do that itself. This is for the X and Y. The Z is different. This is why I wanted to bring this up and show you. For the Z with servo motors, it is 320. 1000.2, 300. Leave that figure alone. And after each time you put figures in here, you must press enter and select each axis that you wish to alter, and then press OK. For motor tuning of a machine that's equipped with stepper motors, the figures that you need to alter that will be different that you put in is the steps per. Now Mach3 do recommend 2000, but I'm telling you put 1000 in there, because it will move the axes too far. What you need to do then is watch my video number 78 and follow what I do in that video, and you will automatically, I'll just get out of this window a minute, so you need to set up, like I say, 1000 in there, then the same figures here for stepper motors for each of the axes. So the first operation you need to do is reference your home position for your machine coordinates. The machine will do that automatically, but first you'll find the reset button here flashing. So we'll just click on the reset button to reset Mach3. A Mach3 will give you a warning sign that it is now connected to the CNC router. And it's all referenced to 0. Okay, so we can go back now to the program run window, and then we're going to go back into config, and we're going to do homing and limits. Now we've already set the home, the machine home. So now what we're going to do is, I've already actually done it, but I'm just showing you where to go to do this for your particular machine. This is setting the soft limits. In other words, telling the Mach3 how big the operating window of the table is. In other words, how far it can go. So in our case with this machine, it's a 6012, so you put in the soft maximum here, 600 millimeters for the X, 1200 millimeters for the Y, and now this is the one that's a little strange, and it's minus 200 for the Z. So when the Z registers at the top of the stroke, this is set at minus 200, because the Z0 it's regarded as the Z0 for the Z is actually at the machine bed. So we put minus 200 up there, and we press OK. And the configuration for your machine should be something like this. Okay, the next thing to do is, when you have homed your machine, you need to turn your soft limits on and keep them on. That's what I do anyway. So now the machine is locked into that envelope, and it will not go outside of that envelope. It's an electronic protection system that I always use and rely on a lot. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to be using my pendant because I'm quite a distance away from my laptop computer. We are going to set up for an imaginary piece of work now. We're going to set up a work offset, because at the moment the machine is in the machine home position, which is normally the area where you change your tool. So You can actually see this too on video number 148. I go into quite a bit of detail about how to do this. So first of all, move the X over. It's gone a bit quietly. This is very, very precise pendant. It's the best pendant that I've actually come across. You can move it with very high precision, or very quickly if you wish to, but just give you an example. That's moving 5/1000ths of an inch at a time. It's coming up on millimeters here, but anyway, very, very good pendant. And of course you can purchase one of these pendants standalone or with your machine. Okay, Z. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to use the automatic tool setting to do the Z. But first of all, we'll set the work offset manually, which is very easily done. So we'll come down with the Z a little bit, like that. A bit of Y. Quieten that down a bit. X. Let's just say we are there. Let's see what we're doing. We're doing X and Y, X0, Y0. So now we're going to set the Z with the machine automatic Z setting tool. So you just press the function key and 9. This will slowly come down. When the tool touches the top of this sensor, it will register to Mach3 and automatically 0. Well, actually it'll register 15.3 millimeters. And there you go. So it just stops there and it's registered that that is now on the top of the work. And if I just put you up to Mach3, it'll show you that it is registered plus 15.3. So the piece of wood or the piece of work is actually 15.3 millimeters below that setting, and it's registered. That's where the 0 point of it is. I want to show you another item with Mach3, how to operate or jog the machine around with the keyboard. And it's very simple. You just press the up down arrow side to side, so that's X plus minus, and this is Y, and the Z, to operate the Z, so it's page up, page down. It's as simple as that. So what we're going to do is go page up, and incidentally, that at the moment is running at half jog speed. If you want to run at full jog speed, you press Shift and then the arrow key, and it runs at full jog speed. So I hope that's been of assistance to you, and your machine will be perfect, and you should be able to get Mach3 up and operating your machine in 10-15 minutes without too much trouble. To tune the machine in might take a little longer, 30 minutes all up, and you'll be able to do your first cuts instantly. the wizards in Mach3 that you can use to write G-codes, you'll see that there's a big list of wizards. Now if you go to my video number 99, that goes into some great detail of how to fill the wizard dialog box in, and how to create a G-code using a wizard in Mach3, and you'll be up and running in no time. So I hope you've liked the video today of commissioning this machine. It's fairly easy actually. It's not rocket science, and if you did, please press like, subscribe to my channel, little red box down in that corner. That will take you to my YouTube channel, where there's many videos now on Mach3, NC Studio, which is another program that runs CNC routers, different jobs I do around here, making children's toys, and a bit of furniture making, and 3D printing. The list goes on quite a bit, but I'm sure there's something there for everyone. So for me now, it's bye for now.